Alright everybody, so we recently finished the opal grind for all of the weapons inside of Black Ops 6, at least all the base game ones that you need to unlock the Afterlife challenges. And in this video we have gotten every single weapon, at least the base game, fully done with the Afterlife challenge, and now we are on to Nebula. However, we do gotta at least make a video showcasing how the Afterlife camo looks on all of the weapons, now don't we? Now I will be honest, I believe that the Afterlife challenge is a lot easier, at least for 31 weapons, than the actual opal challenge, since the opal challenge itself is 30 special zombies. You basically have to farm manglers, but the Afterlife challenge, it's a lot easier and it's a lot quicker, as you only need to get 20 consecutive kills without taking damage 10 times. If you do it perfectly, basically 200 kills, which is obviously going to be very quick. Now the method that I use to go ahead and just knock these out very quickly, obviously we are going to use the new directed mode feature. Shout out to the directed mode feature for making farming your mastery camos so easy. But in my directed game, I wouldn't do any of the Easter egg steps. Open up the literal right side of Liberty's Falls, not the left, the right side of Liberty Falls, all the way to the church to where you have access to Pack-a-Punch. And then I would head to the Alamo, everyone's favorite rooftop, and then the zip line by the arsenal, I would just leave that one closed. You do that so that you can stand in this spot that you're seeing me stand in, relatively close to the arsenal, and no zombies are going to flank you as long as you stand in this spot. Also keep the drop down area to your right closed, and they are just free pickings. The only possible thing that can attack you from behind are vermins. If you actually reload your save and you have a vermin round immediately on round 11, that is the only time when vermins will actually come up behind you, and it's literally just about 1 or 2 max per round. If a mangler pops up at the start of that round, there will not be any vermins that flank you. And if, let's say, you truly do this in one sitting, one game, I did this in 2 sittings on the same save file, but when you load into your fresh save, get all the way up to round 11, there obviously will be a vermin round, and then there'll be a mangler that spawns in at the start of each and every round. There will not be a single vermin that comes up and flanks you. That vermin will only come and flank you if you have reloaded this save and a vermin round started immediately when you loaded in on round 11, because sometimes that does happen. Sometimes it does not happen. It's just kind of up to luck. But since the Afterlife challenge is based on defeating zombies without taking damage, I felt like this is probably one of the better spots, if not the best spot on Liberty Falls to do this, because they're all coming in front of you. They're all pushing you, in which you can see them. You're not going to ever have to worry about dealing with some enemies behind you, and I just found this to be by far and away the easiest way to go about doing so, except for 2 weapons, which we will briefly talk about, which we actually have to optimize just a little bit to actually make this challenge a bit more doable. Now real quick, I do just want to briefly talk about an LMG that I feel like I never see this out the box. So when I was doing my Afterlife challenges, I would generally just have wall weapons saved for last. That way I'm not spending a lot of time at the box wasting valuable time. Plus I would also pop double XP token on the wall weapons, just so constantly getting the challenges moving about. However, when I got down to my last 3, which are the melees and the GPMG7, I probably spent 45 plus minutes and over 100,000 points just spinning the box in that one instance of trying to get it, not including all the other times and spins and points before that moment. And I just don't see that gun in the box ever. My friends told me they've gotten out the box. Me personally, that LMG just does not want to pull up for me. So I had to load into his whole separate game with the GMPG as my load in weapon, just so I could get the Afterlife challenge done for it. I don't know about y'all, but I just can't get that gun out the box. At the same time, while I loaded into that game with the LMG, I also decided to load in with a baseball bat. I was gonna save the knife as my last Afterlife challenge. Now, after doing 31 weapons just standing in this one spot, when I got to the melee weapons, I was a little bit perplexed as to what would be a very easy route to go about doing this. Because for the melee weapons, these are obviously the 2 weapons that are going to be the most difficult to complete the Afterlife challenge on. Now granted, something like the backpedal augment from Melee Macchiato will definitely help, as whenever you get a shank kill, you can just move really fast out of their reach, out of their smacks. And while you are, going between your W and S key, going into the horde, knifing and stepping out of the horde, while you can get 20 stabs stabs doing that, or 20 cracks of the bat doing that, you open yourself up to just getting hit by a zombie that you weren't expecting. Maybe one comes up behind you while you're running a train or something like that with the melee weapons. Or let's say when you go in to hit the zombie, they smack you right at the same time as you hit them and you take some damage. So we're going to need a little bit of strategical approach to get these melee weapons done efficiently. And that is where we enter Ether Shroud. This field upgrade is so clutch for this specific challenge. I feel like part of it was almost here specifically for this challenge. Not only does this make you invisible, which is just a godsend for a challenge like this, especially with melee weapons, but there's also a little bit of other bang for our buck that we get via the augments, okay? Now, the major augments for Ether Shroud, especially for this challenge, there's only one that you want. You want Void Sheath. Swap to your dedicated melee weapon as it's imbued with dark ether energy, and kills allow you to stay in Ether Shroud for longer. This, I swear, this augment was put here for the Afterlife challenges on the melee weapons. This almost guarantees that you'll get a full 20 melee kills while you're in your Ether Shroud. Very important that you put this on. Now, for the minor augments, I would go between either extra charge, as this just gives you an extra charge of Ether Shroud, really good whenever you get full powers dropping for you, and then extension is, your duration is significantly increased. Either the extra charge or the extension paired with Void Sheath is going to help you so much. Extension is going to guarantee that you get your 20 Ether Shroud kills, or rather your 20 melee kills while in Ether Shroud. You're not going to take damage while in Ether Shroud. It guarantees that you get at least 1 of 10 on your Afterlife challenge. Seriously, use Ether Shroud for the Afterlife challenge on the melee weapons. I can't preach about it enough. It's that freaking good. Now, I do briefly just want to talk about this camo compared to some of the other ones. And mastery camo wise, the fact that it is, pulsating, moving, feels a bit more alive is very good. But obviously, you're going to want to be a fan of the color blue, at least a little bit, if you want to have any enjoyment towards this camo whatsoever. If you are a person that does not like the color blue, you're not gonna like this camo. Now, I'll be honest, part of me does think that the opal camo looks better in some instances on some weapons compared to the Afterlife camo, and I just feel like maybe the Afterlife camo could just have been a little bit better, just a little bit better. Like if you compare it to like the Catalyst camo, like the Warzone of this same tier of mastery, I feel like the Catalyst camo is better. There's a little bit of extra colors, like it kind of cycles through all of them, on top of it being a moving black carbon fiber S type of camo. But the Afterlife camo is still pretty darn nice, and I would say it's better than the Dark Spine one personally. But I seriously do want to know your opinions. How do you feel like about this camo compared to the other mastery camos, right? Do you think it looks good? Do you think it looks kind of mid? Although the end goal of the Afterlife camo is to open that door for you towards the Nebula camo grind, which is obviously something that we are going to be doing. I already have the knife done. Probably going to be doing a Nebula Knife video here soon, and we will definitely have the full Nebula for every single gun video very soon as well. But as a big fan of Mob of the Dead, I do feel like this Afterlife camo pays a nice little bit of homage towards what is easily a top 3 map in all of zombies. Thank you so much for watching the video. Comment down below your thoughts, progress, and grind on the Afterlife camo challenges. Nebula is on its way, fellas, and I cannot wait to be knocking out these Nebula camo challenges. Y'all take care and have a happy Thanksgiving. I don't think I'm going to be posting on Thanksgiving, just letting y'all know.